Heartcatch is one of the most popular Precure seasons of all time. Beyond the toy sales and fan reception, Heartcatch has one of the most unique art styles. Umakoshi's proportions let the characters bounce and create some of the most dynamic combat in the franchise. Unlike the modern seasons with all their line art and flair, this season shows us that sometimes simple is best. But does it hold up over 10 years later? If you're new here, this is a series called Design Diary, where we take a look at the designed and stock footage in Precure. There's a playlist in the description if you want to see all the series we've covered, but with that said, let's get right into it. Yoshihiko Umakoshi was in charge of this season's character design. You might recognize him from Casher & Sins, Doremi, or My Hero Academia. In his two magical girl shows, we see his knack at drawing big bobbleheads with tiny bodies. When combined with the bigger fists, the characters have really strong silhouettes. Another feature of his art is the big expressive eyes. I feel like this is his strongest suit in both Casher & Sins and Heartcatch Precure. The way he draws eyes is just so pretty. I feel the former has some shoujo art influences, especially with how dreamy they come off. The final feature I'd like to highlight is how these simple proportions are great for the fight scenes. With all the limbs simplified, it's a lot easier to convey fluid movement without the restraints of normal anatomy. I love the squash and stretch on the girls in this scene, showing how versatile these designs are. Umakoshi did a great job, so let's look at some of his work. Minor disclaimer that being the character designer does not mean he individually came up with everything we'll be covering, so do keep that in mind. Hanasaki Tsubomi is our main character, and she's a shy redhead in glasses. We first meet her in school where she wears her hair in a ponytail with a pair of glasses. I don't usually like it when a character's hair matches the eyes, but here it somewhat works. It kinda suits her personality. That's also the case for our next character, Erika. She's got wavy blue hair which evokes water, and I love how deep this shade is. Erika gives Tsubomi a makeover which gives her the iconic twin tails we know her for. I like the flower clips for being thematic, but also adding a pop of color to her head. Her casual outfit features a pink shirt and cropped jeans. It's pretty basic but features the number 7, a reference to the season. After the makeover scene, Tsubomi wears a cute dress with jeans which is so early 2000s. There's a great video on the series fashion by Doraemani, so be sure to check that out. I like the outfit's silhouette more, and the bow adds a dressy element to this simple outfit. It also matches Erika's bow, as do the white sleeves. Erika's shirt has a sea green tone which is just so good. I love this shade especially, and the white skirt is the perfect balance to her white sleeves. Her boots are brown, which is an odd choice because it matches nothing. The other colors are either white or saturated, so this is a very strange decision. I assume the girls might have been designed with bright tops and dull shoes to draw minimal attention, but I think it's really ugly. A really cute detail though is the matching bags, since the two girls are such besties, one of the most iconic duos in the franchise. While we're here, I do want to compliment the beautiful uniforms of Myodo Academy. I like the wider bottom with the cute little pleats, as well as the big ribbon and the cute buttons. I'm also glad they're a neutral color, so they suit the girls just fine. As Cures, Blossom and Marine wear a mini dress with a floral skirt and bell sleeves. Blossom gets a gigantic ponytail, held up by a pink ribbon. I love the wavy pattern and how it moves in animation. Due to its sheer size, it swallows up her body so her torso and limbs are white to keep them visible. She's got these bellflower sleeves and floral wrist cuffs with a really pretty skirt. The flower petals are a simple but effective way to carry the series theme. A really cute detail is the laced back. It's just so stylish compared to the crafty look of the skirt. It also adds some intrigue to the back of the outfit. Despite that, the shoes are pretty ugly with a lot of detail for such a small element. The flower is fine, but the little highlights are kinda weird. I don't like how it comes together. Overall, the biggest issue with this design is how monochromatic it is. I think the limited palette makes it kinda boring to look at. If not for the silhouette, I don't think this would work. I like how the deepest shade of pink is used to break her body, like at the hands, waist, and boots, but I think the bows should have been a different color. especially in her hair. It's just a little basic. My final thoughts are that Blossom has a really iconic design, but honestly, it's very basic and I don't think this would hold up in a modern series. Cure Marine is our blue Cure, and she's got a very fun and vibrant design. The palette is a lot better with lots of white and a wider range of blues. Marine has long wavy hair that parts into two twin tails. It's a vibrant cyan that suits her bright personality. I also love the shading on it to emphasize the wavy line art. Her dress is pretty similar to Blossom's, but her mini dress is mostly white. When paired with a light blue, it makes a beautiful palette. She's got a saturated cyan in her hair, a paler blue on her skirt, and finally a subtle but darker blue on the lining. It's this kind of contrast that was lacking in Blossom's design. I especially love the white dress since it's so rare in the series. The bow on her head stands out and the cuffed shoes are so pretty. Once again, I don't think the shoes needed buttons. It's a little needless, but I'm more forgiving of it here. I really like her outfit overall and think it's a much stronger design than Blossom's. The girls transform with the heart perfumes and the heart seeds. The perfume bottles are really ornate with golden vines and a beautiful rose nozzle. The series collectibles are the heart seeds, and the ones the Precure transform with are called the Precure seeds. They've got a beautiful 8-point star with the Cure's insignia carved into it. I was really obsessed with these as a child and I drew them all the time. These are the items for the sequence Open My Heart. The transformation begins with the girls opening their perfume before summoning a heart seed with their fairy. Blossom twirls around, and once the seed is in, she sprays her dress on as the outfit forms. Her hair is really lively and I love that it twirls together to form the ponytail. Another cute detail is watching Tsubomi pray to summon her heart seed. It makes it feel like a very intimate moment. Finally, I love the darker background with the daisies floating around her. Some of them are more abstract, which feels like a precursor to the Hugto backgrounds. Marine starts her sequence by racking her brain to summon her heart seed. She looks so proud of herself here and I love it. After this, she opens her heart and sprays on her outfit. Her hair in these is so gorgeous and Erica is clearly having fun waving about and posing right before she gets those long blue locks. I love the extravagant spin before the phrase and how her hair is always animated as really split. Realistically, it would be kinda limp, but I love that the tails are as far away as possible. The two get their own duo transformation, and that puts them in the same space. It's a rare occurrence, so I really appreciate this. The backgrounds combine and they lock arms while transforming. I love when they spray each other and high five in the middle. It's a really cute sequence and I'm glad they kept it in the group transformation. Though oddly enough, it's not in the Tropical Rouge movie. The Precure allies this season include their fairies and their family. First up, we have Hanasaki Kaoruko. Kaoruko is Tsubomi's grandmother and secretly Cure Flower. She's got long wavy hair and wears a lab coat. I love her jade green dress and the comfy pink sweater. She's got such a pleasing silhouette too, so big, warm, and friendly, kinda like her fairy Coop. In an interview about the series, Umakoshi mentions that one of his favorite memories from this show was creating the character Coop. He mentions that initially Coop was drawn on a whim and its inclusion in the show made him really happy. Coop is the largest fairy in the show and has a pretty big body with a crooked horn. I love his big lips and pink heart, and the little tail is super cute. He's very fuzzy and I would love a plush of this. Coop can also shapeshift into Sora, who is Kaoruko's husband. He's got a pretty cool design with lots of sleek lines. I also like the touch that Tsubomi's entire bloodline wears glasses. Pretty cool attention to detail. To wrap up this section on Kaoruko, let's cover the glorious and powerful Cure Flower. I just love how grand this design is. Flower has long flowing hair, a glorious skirt, and a gigantic flower on her chest. The butterfly clips on her hair are really cute, and I love the flower details on her outfit. Her transformation is brief, but it's really beautiful. We only get a phrase, but she's got these gorgeous flower frames in the background, and a little flower friend that appears in her hand. I really like the backing track too. I think the brevity of this makes it special, kind of like a Christmas miracle. Cure Flowers got 2 main attacks and they're both pretty cool. Flower Candle spins the enemy around while Flower Carnival makes pink clones that spout out and attack. It's really cool, and beyond this she can make barrier nets, which is super broken. I love when they make legendary cures have such OP abilities, and I think the episode itself is pretty cool, so if you haven't watched Heartcatch and you don't mind spoilers, just check out, I think it's episode 45, that's where she appears. So the next allies we're going to cover are Coffrey and Shipray, who are named after perfume. They're really cute, and I love the vague rabbit shape with the different ears. The abstract shapes just really work for this style. They're a pretty cute pair overall. A bit later on, there's a new addition, and this one is a lot more baby, with her name being Potpourri. I love how cute she is, especially with the warmer palette. The little wings are a pretty interesting touch. More importantly, this fairy brings us to our newest cure, and that is... Itsuki Myrdoin is the masculine student body president. She's got short brown hair and wears a male uniform. It's mentioned that her uniform was drawn differently because she's a girl, and you can definitely see more sway. It's really elegant. In her casual wear, she's put in a really ugly outfit. I'm sorry, but I hate this ugly smock paired with jeans and white sneakers. It's such a nasty silhouette with all the shapes, and the bright colors just do not help. I genuinely can't believe she's gonna wear this, and unfortunately, it will get worse, but we'll get to that later. Thankfully, her cure design is perfect. Itsuki's transformation is really bright, and she has the most frames in the group. I love how smooth it is, and the sunflowers are really vivid. I love the way they've been constructed. It's just such a pretty decal. I really wish they sold more merchandise, like gift wrapping paper with these patterns. Anyway, she uses the shiny perfume, which has a much brighter design with different vines on it. I love how it spins into frame. As I've said before, the glamour shots of merchandise are some of my favorite parts of any bank animation. I just think you're selling a toy, so it really impresses me. The spiral vines evoke the sun motif, and it's one of my favorite transformation items. You know, I always come back to watch this because it looks so good. Her hair extends in a really glorious cut, and she playfully bounces Potpourri. It's a cute little moment between them. She sprays in pretty aggressive cuts, which gives the whole scene a snappy pace. The hair animation is stellar as it's dyed a golden yellow, and there's a touching moment in the end where Itsuki takes it all in. She does a few karate moves and strikes her final pose. Itsuki transforms into the radiant golden cure Sunshine. She's got big girlish twin tails and a lot of orange accents. I like that white is a base color just like Marine, cause here it makes her look brighter. She wears a crop top too, and the usual floral skirt with sleek lace-up boots. The colors here are really great with a blonde hair, golden bow, and the brighter skirt. The accents also use a light orange, which helps them blend in. To be honest, I prefer when they color her hair a bright gold, rather than this lifeless pale one in a lot of the art. In the movies and the CG model, it's very vibrant, but sometimes it looks very ugly and pale. It just doesn't work with the colors. Even in newer appearances, it's more bright because that really suits the current Precure aesthetic. Now that we've covered all three girls, let's talk about their attacks. The girls' first attacks are Pink Fort Wave and Blue Fort Wave. These are performed using the flower attacks, which are formed by tapping the emblem on their heart and summoning the power of flowers. I love how elegant the design is with both the jewel on top and the rainbow jewels held within. The golden lining is really pretty too. It's such a dynamic attack with all the spinning and poses. Blossom's attack has a whimsical track, while Marine's has a faster, energetic beat. She's also a lot more erratic in her movements. At the end of the attack, the monster floats in a giant flower, and I love how hard they work to keep it spinning. It just gives the whole attack a lot more weight. Outside of this, they have a lot of sub-attacks which likely inspired Happiness Charge, but the ones of note are Blossom Shower, which shoots out flowers, Marine Shoot, which shoots out water drops, with the rest being Enhanced Combat, and not seeming to be bank animation. They are pretty fun though. The combat in the show is really great, so if you're looking for a season with good fight scenes, I would recommend this one. There's also the duo version of their solo attacks, which has them posed symmetrically at the start and features some new animation. It's super cool that they worked in both the fortissimo and the heart visual in this one shot. The flowers overlaying is super lazy though, and you can barely see marines. Regardless, it's an alright attack, so let's move on to cure Sunshine. Sunshine attacks with her own weapon, the shiny tambourine. This is a gorgeous ring of hearts with sunflower decals in the center. I love the spinning animation, and I think Gold Fort Burst is a really fun attack. The dark honeycomb zone she's in is so pretty. Once again, we need more merchandise of the backgrounds. But I really love this one frame of the shooting sunflowers where they kind of look like kernels of popcorn. It just feels like a fun way to tie in another plant motif, probably unintentional though. Sunshine Flash is her projectile shot, and she's also got the shield of the season, Sunflower Aegis, which is pretty cool since the shape of a sunflower lends itself to a shield pretty easily. With our first 3 cures covered, I feel like it's time for us to cover our first 3 generals. The Dark Apostles are our main villains, and the first one we meet is Sasorina. She's based on a scorpion and wears gold jewelry. I love the golden cape, and the jewelry is super stylish. Her scorpion hair is also a really cool detail. She really stands out and has a very iconic design. Kumojaki is our next general, and he's a wild looking man. He wears a long gray coat and wields a sword. I like his silhouette and the stylish white belt. His design seems to be a mirror to Kobraja, who also wears a coat, boots, and sagging belt. He's also got wavy long hair to contrast Kumojaki's wild hair. The palettes just seal the deal. Individually, Kumojaki is somewhat bigger, and the sword alludes to his past in martial arts. Kobraja also has a pretty stylish outfit, with a black shirt and his beautiful golden belt. I feel like this is a reference to his fashion interests, but I do feel the similarity is more from the art style and a lack of range in male character design that we'll cover as this goes along. Altogether, the triangular trim on the coats and Sasorina's cape are an interesting shared element. It might not be obvious, but the boys also have their animal inspirations. Kobraja is a cobra, which might have inspired his hair, but Kumojaki is a spider, and I can't see any of that. The choice to base them off venomous animals is pretty cool, but I wish it was a little more obvious. To fully cover our next villain, we'll also need to address Tsukikage Yuri. Cure Moonlight is the first cure we see, and in her debut she's fighting Dark Precure. She's got such a dramatic design, the most literal one-winged angel we've ever seen. I love her stark black outfit and the aggressive bob cut. She's got dark green hair and a spiky red hair clip. Much like the cures, she can also use a fort wave and fortissimo attack. She has heterochromia, which is a neat detail, if only for the reveal of her golden eye. Beyond this, I really like the ruffled skirt. It's such a fun, girlish element for this serious design. When paired with the thigh-high boots, it's a very high-fashion look. It's a great use of a limited palette, as well as shapes and color blocking. The Dark Precure has a pretty close relationship to Yuri, and was created by her father, Professor Sabak. He's got silver hair and wears a long black coat, just like every other guy in this show apparently. His mask also shrouds him in mystery. To be honest, it's a little dramatic considering he looks nothing like either her or his other daughter. The other cures share at least one trait with their parents, but Yuri's parents look like complete strangers. If Dark Cure could get Yuri's bangs, then surely her father could have had her eyes or hair color. Anyway, on to Yuri herself. She's in her second year of high school, so she's much taller but also has a pretty muted palette. Her palette communicates her sad demeanor. I feel like the shawl, jeans, and bag really age her, and with Precure's art style, she could be somebody's mom in that outfit. Her uniform is similarly drab with muted colors all around. In case you missed it, she is sad and has zero bright colors in any of her outfits. Much like his partner, Cologne is pretty dull with sad, droopy eyes. Apparently he was so sharp because there was no intention to make merchandise of him. Because her fairy is dead, Cure Moonlight transforms with a heart pot. It makes for a very festive start with her rotating seeds and the restoration of her heart seed. I like the mirror shot and how she slicks her hair back like it's a blade. There wasn't a perfume to spray with, so I get why it's shorter, but surely there was another way. It's just a little brief and awkward. The golden moons that come out of nowhere just to disappear, Yuri spinning off into the ether, and the Heartpot's complete absence in the middle. While the falling shot is unique, I can't ignore how bad this is after sun shines. At least the background is pretty. As a design, Moonlight is probably our only silver cure, at least for now. She's got long lavender hair and a primarily silver dress. I must admit, I'm very torn on this design. While she gets unique points, with time I can see how dramatic her design is. There's sharp black lines and a generally dull palette. I appreciate it for its time, but I can see why they don't give us any more cures like this. Back to the dress itself, I love the ruffle down the chest, and the winged sleeves are unique. Using blue is a cool choice since it ties into the night sky and complements the silver really well. The glamorous coat gives her a mature edge, and the gloves mirror Dark Precure's outfit. As a group, they're united by their flower skirts, bows, and cuffs. Blossom and Marine are the most similar, while the latter two match boots. I love that their whole team has long hair since it gives a lot of sway to their animation. I also really like the glossy shading and the general color palette of this team. Heartcatch is from an era with more uniform outfits, but they managed to make it work. Compared to Fresh Before It and Sweet Right After, the outfits are a lot more creative. I think that the different heights and hairstyles really contribute to this feeling. When combined with Umakoshi's art style, it's a pretty memorable series. I went into this with a lot of nostalgia, but I can admit, I do not miss this era. Precure designs have gotten so much better, and while I'm fond for this time, I'm a little underwhelmed by this season. To finally round out the villain section, because that's what this was, I guess it's only fair that we cover Dune before moving on to the final attack. The final villain and the leader of the Desert Apostles is Dune. He doesn't even deserve his own section because he's just that boring. For the king of the Desert Apostles, his design is painfully bland. A white coat, really? His hair isn't even dynamic. The bound boots are cool, but the rest is just a bunch of nothing. The chameleon is cute, but why is it there? Even the power-up is just a generic buff guy. I know we've had some, generic-ish male villains, but this really dropped the bar. He feels like an afterthought. And after his apostles, I feel like his design is a really big disappointment. Let's end this here. For this series, the girls gain one major power-up in the show, and another power-up in the All-Stars movie. Let's cover the first. By using the Heartcatch Mirage, the girls can unlock their super silhouette forms. It took me so long to realize they're called that, partially because they're silhouettes while transforming. Unfortunately, these are more of the same with a wider skirt and the white base color. The older power-ups were pretty tame and just made the dress longer with a new color. Thankfully, the attack is much better. Heartcatch Orchestra starts with a vibrant flower as the girls all pray in the mirror. They spin in space as their flower motifs are replaced with a heart. I love the quick transformation with Blossom falling before they all appear as silhouettes. They tap their emblems and the heart wings come in, one of the more creative aspects of this power-up. The final part is the most epic with a giant lady punching the villain with a studded fist. It's just so fun to see this floral and vibrant attack, and with such violence. Another fun detail is the fact the girls are saying heart in this sequence. Blossom has so much fun yelling in the end, and it's a great attack overall. During the final battle, they do get one new form, and that's Infinity Silhouette. I love the brief transformation with a multi-layered egg, as well as the white coat and brooch. It's interesting that she gets a white coat, similar to the Mirage Cures, but also similar to Dune's white coat. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but there's a lot of white coats between Dune, Kaoruko, and the Mirage Cures. Maybe it was just a common design element, but it feels intentional with the final power-up somewhat resembling the villain's outfit. Maybe it's a reach, but I do have a lot to say about the way they chose to style the characters in this show. It has its place, but I'm really glad that this is not the style of most Precure seasons. I'm much more of a fan of Takahashi's style or Nakatani's style. I guess I just don't like these designs. They're so stubby and it's kind of gross in certain shots. I don't want to be mean about it, but I do think this style has its strengths and weaknesses. The Heartcatch movie doesn't give us a new form, but we do get some fun new outfits and a few new characters. First, let's cover the girls' new casual wear. Tsubomi has a cute ruffle dress and a blue jacket. The silhouette and colors make her look sophisticated and suit the French setting of the film. Erika's got a big jacket and denim shorts with bright blue sneakers. I'm not a fan of the shoes, but I do like that the girls match. They've all got black in their movie outfits, which is pretty cool. Itsuki is wearing a black jacket over a striped dress and pullover. It's very early 2000s. There's a lot of layers here, but I think this outfit suits her best with some masculine and feminine elements to balance her style. Given her arc in the show, I feel like they dressed her in some pretty ugly clothes, so I'm glad we get this in the movie. Yuri's movie outfit is great too. It's purple, which really brightens her up. When combined with a pale button top and denim jeans, I think it addresses all of my problems with her casual outfit. The colors just pop and complement her hair amazingly. So speaking of silver cures, let's talk about the movie exclusive legendary cure. Cure Ange is inspired by Valkyries, and she's got long, windy hair with a long white dress and silver armor. I love that her design gives her a unique motif, being quite angelic and warrior-like. Despite that, she's got the Heartcatch emblem on her chest and golden vine designs like on the Heart perfume. Her silver skirt also resembles the flower skirts the girls wear, with the brooch and staff resembling moonlight. Overall, she's got a pretty cool design with lots of fun detail, and I'm glad we got to see her. They could have given us a more generic design, but she really does look otherworldly. The movie's villain is Baron Salamander, who travels with a werewolf boy called Olivier. He wears a large cloak and has silver hair, which makes him look pretty mysterious. As a werewolf, his hair flares up and turns aqua green. The facial markings remind me of Naruto, and his golden eyes really pop here. Baron Salamander has an elegant design and really stands out from the other desert men that we've seen. He's got the same black coat and long hair, but his bow and staff give him a vampiric vibe. I especially love the coat being red on the inside. The red accents help identify his pants, and the purple bow is pretty unique. For this final section, we'll be covering the civilian forms from DX3 and the power-ups from DX2. While making this video, I was pretty confused by these outfits. I wasn't sure if they appeared in the show, but thankfully, Rosie reminded me where it's from. The girls partake in a fashion show where they all got new outfits in DX3. Tsubomi wears cute pigtails tied in yellow bows. She's got a pink dress over a purple skirt and a magenta ribbon tied around her. I love the beige boots since it's very true to the series fashion, and I think the color hierarchy is great. Her maroon hair really complements the pink of the dress and is balanced by the darker skirt. I think her frills are really cute here too. When combined with her pigtails, it creates a very youthful and girly image. Erika's wearing a cute outfit that reminds me of her movie outfit. It feels a bit tacky with the two bows and the beige ruffle, and while I get it probably evokes the series emblem, fairy drop, and the cure bows, I think the bows are just a bit forced in some of these outfits. Maybe the fashion should have been toned down a little. Itsuki's back, and this is probably the worst outfit I've seen. I'm struggling to record this because it's a bit funny that this show is about fashion, but they put Itsuki in the worst outfit every single time. I just think her styling is so off, and we're actually going to talk about it. The thing is, unlike the other girls, Itsuki's style is very undefined. Tsubomi's usually in girly casual clothes with very similar silhouettes. Erika's style is a lot looser, with bigger tops and short bottoms. Yuri's style is the most mature, using dark colors, styling her kinda like an older woman. Compared to all of them, Itsuki's wardrobe is a mess. She starts off in this suave white uniform which is elegant, and retains a feminine touch despite being the male uniform. Based on this, I would have preferred a more theatric style kinda like Amane from Primagi. They intentionally modified this uniform which shows an extra level of care. However, once she's with the girls, she swaps out this really cool look for a childish bright top and denim jeans with white sneakers. It feels like she's regressed. I wouldn't mind if she was younger, but this is pretty juvenile for her character. Her movie outfit feels like a balance between the two aesthetics, with a straighter silhouette but a pop of color in the dress. So how did we get here? The ugliest outfit yet. It's very dressy and churchy in a way that doesn't really suit Itsuki. I hate the little braids in her hair clips. Since her hair is so short it doesn't even matter, she looks a lot older with the long skirt and the blouse. It's a lot of choices and I don't want to look at this anymore. Let's just move on. For some reason Yuri isn't here. I guess she didn't want to do the fashion show, but that does mean we get to end this section on a good note before covering the final designs. These are some of my favorite, and I am glad I held them all the way till the end. So simple yet so effective. Let's talk about Rainbow Blossom and Rainbow Marine. The rainbow forms are some of my favorite bigger is better power-ups, and here's why. For one, the bigger parts actually make sense. Instead of making everything kinda droopy, the skirt petals increase and the emblem is fitted with wings. I love the divine glow they get, and the paler colors really work here. It's a great power-up that's simple and effective. Heartcatch Precure is over a decade old at this point. Not only has Precure changed, but the style is unrecognizable. I was excited to see if this season holds up, since I have pretty fond memories of its action. The cures are pretty different in style and the color is really tame. This era had a lot of monochrome cures up until Doki Doki. The proportions were also less streamlined, with a much larger shift between seasons. There's a great Tumblr post about this that goes into how this style has evolved. The designs in Heartcatch are pretty simple, with a lot less detail in the moving parts. Outside a few guiding lines, the hair lacks a lot of the chunks and locks we're used to nowadays. The anatomy is pretty loose too. The posing is dynamic and the sharp bands really add to that energy. The merchandise was pretty cute, especially the heart perfume and the seeds. I love the detail put into them to fit the theme. Looking at the Heartcatch Mirage, I kinda prefer the rip-off. The mirror part is cute, but the chunky buttons and interface kinda gross me out. It looks very chunky and cheap. The Shining McDresser is a lot more toy-like, with its much rounder shapes and cute detail all around. You can see how much better they are at designing merchandise. Finally, with regard to the power-ups, this season was pretty disappointing. Like a lot of early power-ups, they turn up the brightness and slap some wings on. I did not like any of the power-ups this season all that much. There was no evolution to their designs, and the designs were not reimagined enough. In modern Precure, we see a lot more thought go into power-ups, with multiple versions for each movie. Back in these times though, you were lucky to get one for the All-Stars movie, and one for both the series and the movie itself. Overall, I'm really glad I got to cover this since I love the cure designs and I enjoy most of the attacks. While I don't love the series' fashion, I think it's accurate to the times, which is probably more important. While there were some duds, I generally liked this season. It's pretty cute for its time. I look forward to the next designs we'll get to see in next year's season. I'd also love to know what you liked about this season and what your best and worst design was. I'm a huge fan of Cure Marine, but Itsuki's outfits are all a mess. Let me know your thoughts and I'll see you guys next time.